Let's talk about the return of the Christ consciousness. I know in a few of your interviews you talked about that and this new era that we're in. How does that fit in?
The new era that you're in, it has to do with who you are and what your DNA is. Because you've been lied to about skin pigmentation. You're not a skin pigmentation. Skin is nothing but a cover. It was created because of environmental reasons or other reasons, but it is not who you are. Man has created all of these labels and races and lies. There are no races. There are nothing but tribes. If you go back to the Bible and you look at the Bible and the ancient books of the ancient Egyptians, that's where the Bible was actually based off of the Book of the Dead, the Book of the Living.
Yeah.
From the ancient Egyptian aliens that came to the earth and brought technology and brought all kinds of stuff that right now man cannot even comprehend.
Right.
Man has found their ships that have ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics on the belly of the ships, but still do not understand the technology that these ancient aliens brought here and that they've been utilizing for years, but still only know just a fraction of this ancient knowledge, or they can only comprehend or interpret it only a fraction of that knowledge. They've stolen the manuscript, the technology, the work, everything, but cannot even comprehend it. A lot of it is in the Vatican with the Pope. They can't comprehend it. Can't even understand it because it's not in their DNA to understand it. See,
I see.
There are two different lineages. If you go into the Bible, the ancient text of Genesis, there's no such thing as Genesis. It's just an anagram for two words. Genesis is an anagram for its genes. Genesis. Turn it around. It's two words. It's is, and it's Genes. Is genes. So Genesis, which genes, is talking about two lineages. And the two lineages, Cain, raising Cain, chaos, and the lineage of that track JC, John Connors, Jesus Christ, which grows up to be Neo, one and the same. His lineage came from Abel, Seth, Jesus. And if you go in this Bible and you look, you can only trace your lineage to one or the other. Either you came from Cain's lineage or you came from the lineage of God. Good versus evil. That's all that's going on here. Witchcraft versus spirituality.
Okay. So do you see that, there's always dualities. Do you see that being integrated? Do you see that coming together and us overcoming those? Yeah.
There is no duality. It's only polarity, polar.
Okay.
There is no duality. Duality is a lie. It's called duping, duplicity. It's called, bi means two. There's no two things going on here. There is no devil versus God because God created everything. So the devil is subjected to God. So therefore, he's not an equal. So there is why there is two. That's what deception is all about. Deception, duping, duplicity. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Duality, that means two. There is no two. Polarity means that everything is going forward or it's going backwards.
Okay.
Witchcraft is going backwards. Spirituality is going forward. That's what polarity means. It's polar. Polar opposite.
I see.
That's if you go to listen, I'm gonna explain it to you where you can really truly understand it. You look at your car, you open up your car, there's no two things propelling your car. There's only one thing propelling the car. It's called a battery. Battery is what It's called energy or frequencies. But let's look at the battery. Yes, it has two posts on it, right? It has a
Right.
negative post and has a positive post. That means that energy flows from right to left, left to right. This is what Tesla was trying to teach you guys.
Mm-hmm.
When it's flowing right forward, your car is driving nice, good. When it's flowing backwards, the car may be breaking down or burning up.
Okay.
But there's no two things going on. It's only
So it's
one.
So it's
Because there's only one energy, just one source energy.
one source.
In the
Okay.
way people use the frequencies of energy, they either push the energy forward, which is positive, or they use the energy negatively, which is backwards negative.
I see.
Let me tell you, in school, you're taught spells. Spelling is spells. Cursive is cursive. Words. Witchcraft. Math is the universal language, not words.
Okay.
Words, they're illusionary. Words are illusionary. But math, numbers, frequencies is the power. So the universal language is mathematics. It's not words. It's not spells or spelling. You create with math. All architects, all engineers, all inventors like Tesla, like Leonardo da Vinci, they invented by mathematics.
Okay.
It's called multiplications and it's called additions. You add unto, you multiply and become numerous, greater. Mathematics, probabilities, statistics.
Wow.
Now, the negative part of that math is division, when you divide and separate.
Yeah.
Division, separation, and subtraction, taken away. When you steal from somebody, when you tear down and destroy. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Right. I get that.
That is negative. That's the negative energy that you're using when you come and you lie, you kill, and you steal.
Right.
That's what the devil is a word, Ebonic word for the evil. That's all devil is the evil. Anyone who's practicing the evil of tearing down, destroying, you see, separating and dividing, separating yourself from God, separating from love, separating yourself from kindness and goodness.
Yeah.
Going in the opposite direction.
Yeah. That's all coming together. Yeah.
This is what creates your world, is your DNA, your tribe, and who you are. If you're telling a lie or you're telling the truth. If you're lying or stealing, you don't need to steal. If you have the gift of creativity in you, you can create. And how do you create? You're an architect. You build houses. You're an engineer. You build cars. You can build inventor. You're an inventor. You can create a chair, polar panels, or solar panels.
Yeah. That
So
makes sense. That makes sense. So what?
You don't need to steal.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So what about the divine feminine? How is that? How is that? Because I feel like we're moving into that age right now. Are we? Moving in. I mean, we've been there before, but how do you see that happening right now?
Divine feminine is the matrix. Matrix is a 7,000-year-old word for the woman's womb. Her stargate, her portal, everything that is physical has to come through the woman's matrix, her womb, into this earthly dimension. Without the matrix or the womb, life would end. Everything you know here would die.
Right.
There would be no more bodies coming in through the matrix. The continuation of life is the seed of man in the womb of the woman. The difference between a man and a woman is not a vagina and a penis. It is the woman in the womb and the seed. There's the womb and the seed, the woman. No man will ever be a woman because he does not have the womb. There is no Dr. Frankenstein upon the earth that can give him a womb and umbilical cord to feed the baby and breast milk. He can put tumor in a man, but tumor is nothing but a false growth, and it has no milk. It never will have any milk, and it will turn cancerous. And if it gets hit a bump, it will turn cancerous.
Okay. Yes, I've heard of. I heard a while ago that they were able, not a while ago, not long ago, but that they were, experimenting with a womb transplant into a male, and I thought that was very interesting. What is the divine feminine in the trans movement context? Like a womb, like putting like a uterus, and I'm not sure how successful that
not
was.
Put a womb in a man. A man has the testosterone running through him, not estrogen.
Right.
The woman manufactures estrogen. That's what makes the womb expand for 9 months and grow the umbilical cord and the breast milk, the estrogen.
Yeah.
And
so how does
no man will ever, listen to me, no man will ever will even have any estrogen in manufacture any estrogen in his body.
Right. Exactly.
It will only be testosterone in his body. His body biological cannot be altered by Dr. Frankenstein except his physical body. If the doctor cut off your penis, he cuts off your seed, and you become a eunuch.
A eunuch, yeah.
What is it? A eunuch. You become a eunuch.
Right. So how does
and you have to use the bathroom from the side of your body now, because there is no doctor that can give any man any vagina. There's no doctor that can give any man a womb or an umbilical cord or any breast milk.
Right.
It is the biggest hoax ever perpetrated on mankind.
Yeah, I agree. So how does the divine feminine in the trans movement, are we moving towards, I mean, I feel like there's some who want to move towards androgyny.
Let me tell you what it's all about. It is about white supremacists. It's about white supremacists. The white race genocides themselves out. They're going to become extinct. They're becoming extinct. They lynch the black males because they would get with any type of women, and they would procreate like jackrabbits. The Spanish people would never practice birth control or abortions because of their faith. Most of them was Catholics.
Okay.
They would cut off the black male's penis and put it in his mouth when they lynched him because it was envious and jealousy. The whole movement of homosexuality and transgender is to bring death upon the earth and end human life. The female, the feminine energy of creativity is the womb.
Right.
And if you cut off the male's seed and cut his penis off, he cannot procreate. And if he practiced homosexuality, which is Sodom and Gomorrah, sodomizing and gonorrhea, he will get STDs by going into the sewer. To sodomize is going into the sewer. To bust open the veins and put feces in the veins of the bloodstream. STDs, AIDS, E. coli, Ebola, to kill. It is a ploy, a plot to put a black male in a dress. It's to kill off the race. Listen to me. To kill off life.
Okay.
To destroy life.
Mm-hmm.
to suck, to suck the secretions out of the body. It's to suck death, because the body has all of these openings that was created on the body, the sweat glands to sweat out the toxin, waste, and poison and metal, the tears to cry it out, the nose to blow it out, the mouth to gawk it out of, the ears to drop it out of, the vagina to secrete, and the penis to secrete it out of, the anus to bowel movements, to put the feces and all the poison and waste that the body does not take in as nourishment has to come out in all of these openings. And the body is releasing the poison and the waste, and no one can stop that in their bodies. It is abomination. It is going back. It brings forth disease and death and illness and sickness and some of the worst diseases that has ever come upon the face of the earth, some of the worst plagues. We're supposed to be clean. The United States was becoming third world countries, nastiness. They were letting everybody in from all over without giving any vaccines or vaccinations. We had already cleared all of that in a period of time in American history. But now here comes tuberculosis again. Here come polio again. Here come chickenpox and smallpox. Here come other plagues upon the earth because man was not practicing cleanliness.
Yeah, it's all
In
about
foreign countries, there was no toilet paper in most of them. You had to bring it with you. Men cleaned their backsides with other things in their hands.
Right. That makes sense. Okay.
This is the truth. It can be researched. It can be validated. You can go back and look.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I definitely, once hygiene.
Practicing nasty things that was never here, but came from old. There have been plagues always upon the earth. We'll go to London. We'll go to London to a plague, and the Black Plague in London, in a period of time when there was no sewers in London, the city. They would urinate and do their mess in these pots and throw them out of the windows on people that was traveling. There was no, there was just mud and dirt. And when it rained, they would be bogged down. In the wintertime, it was fine. But when the summer came, the heat came, the diseases festered, became plagues, because they would throw all the urine. There was no sewers. They would throw it out of the windows. All the wealthy people, all the educated people would leave their townhouses and their homes and would go way out, far out to their far out estates where there was fresh eggs, fresh chicken, fresh meat. And then the people from the city would come in out there trying to steal. They would hang them for poaching.
Wow.
And they would wait until those plagues were over before they came back to the cities.
That's amazing.
For the Black plague. Go back and research it. Because the ancient Egyptians taught how to create sewers, but they did not. Did not understand it, utilize that.
Right. Yeah, there is a wealth of information.
Listen to me. The plague now, COVID-19, even though they had genetically modified it and man has created it, Bill Gates and Fauci, Dr. Fauci, so they can become wealthy. Anything that you can patent is created in a laboratory by man. Anything that man has a patent and he's selling to become rich and wealthy off of his own kind, created by man. And it can be genetically altered, and it will genetically alter. As more people get it, it will change. And sometimes it will change for the better and fizzle on out. Because God will not allow anything to linger too long where it will harm the earth or the people
Right.
or the animals or the insects or the plants.
Right.
God will bring in order, balance.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What man means bad for others, God will change it and alter it where it will benefit. It
Right.
will benefit all of God's creation.
Mm-hmm.
And this is female, feminine energy is all about of creation. This female, feminine energy creates. And when you see all these weather patterns and all this stuff that comes upon the earth, it comes to balance.
Right. Right. And the earth is balancing as well, right? So yeah. Yep.
Well, that's what
that is true.
human nature was all about.
Mm-hmm.
The nature, human nature, and the
Mm-hmm.
nature of forces that upon the earth to protect the earth,
Right.
that governs the earth.
Mm-hmm.
These energies, these tornadoes, these hurricanes, these earthquakes, these volcanoes,
Right.
these tsunamis,
Exactly.
and I can go on and on. Forces upon the earth. They
Mm-hmm.
come, they bring balance. The
Yeah.
fires, floods,
Right.
the dust
Right.
storms.
Mm-hmm.
I can go on and on.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, I think it is all about balance. And you know, right. I've seen, you know, those you know, going to ancient times, you know, where you've seen those, you know, plagues and what was going on politically or economically or, you know, culturally, you know, it was all about balance, right? So
Yes.
it's very interesting to see, yeah, that happening today. That, you know, coming, you know, us in a very, you know, rebalancing era right now. So so I'm going to ask you a few more questions. I feel like we have a ton more questions, but I don't want to keep you too long. So we'll have to do a part 2 so we can get some more questions answered. So just some final thoughts. What messages do you have for humanity today?
I just want people to get the Matrix 4 book and
Mm-hmm.
read about what I'm speaking about today in the Third Eye Matrix and Terminator book, which is the beginning, where it all began,
Yes.
where all the movies come from. I
Mm-hmm.
want you to get the book and look at the prophecies and start reading what's coming. With Matrix 4,
Mm-hmm.
it's the 4th installment. It's going to be an animation because of COVID-19.
Okay.
It's best to do animation right now because, as you can see, the President of the United States has contacted COVID-19, meaning that anybody can get it. And so we want to adhere and stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to point out to people that it's very important that they be aware of knowledge and what's coming and what's going on now. So best to protect themselves, best to have knowledge so they can all prosper in the coming years that are coming upon us. The new world, the new changes in the Matrix 4, it tells you about it and it helps you. Also, I want to say about my name, Sophia. It comes from the Bible.
Let's talk about your name. That's right. Yes.
Called me wisdom. It's Greek for wisdom. Sophia is philosophy. Sophia is pi, P-I. The ratio of all numbers, 314. When you add 314, it's the number 8, which is the infinity of God. 8888. There's nothing simply but zeros sitting on top of another zero, going vertically or horizontally or every which way across the world, the globe. It's letting you know that God, which is life, is forever, and it begins again and again. It never ends, and it's all about the atom, atom, not the Adama, not the ADAM, but the atom. The atom is the flower of life, and it's 8 atoms that makes that flower grow and continue till there's no end to it. It's only a beginning, again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
So God is forever.
Right. Right. Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I truly believe that knowledge, is power. We have to, um, go back in time and really connect with the true knowledge. I feel like we have a lot of myth, myth, um, misinformation,
Mythology.
right,
Mythology is
mythology.
a mix
So,
of myth and truth. Mythology, myth,
mm,
lies, and truth. Mythology,
okay, right,
the mixture.
yeah,
Yes, that is what's
yeah,
going on. And it all goes with the DNA, like I told you, the
hmm,
lineages of the DNA,
okay,
not skin pigmentation, because the skin does not determine you being black or white
right,
or others.
or yeah, yeah,
It's
hmm,
DNA that tells who you really are and what lineage you came from.
yeah,
If you came from chaos, raising Cain lineages, or you came from the lineage of God. So if you're going to track you and trace yourself and what tribe, then you need to know if you came from God's lineage or the other lineage. Go into the Bible, look at the two separate DNAs.
mm,
One was the reptilian Cain, raising Cain, which the
okay,
reptilians right there and where the Pope, big giant reptilians right there at the
hmm,
Vatican.
right, yeah,
He was walking upright on two legs. After the
hmm,
fall, he was crawling on his belly.
mm, wow, wow.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I've heard that yeah, I've heard that. So, well, thank you so much. So I do want to also get back and get into you mentioned your lineage here in America is Cherokee. So I want to definitely next time we speak, I want to talk about that and how it relates to those here. I feel like a lot of Black people, also have Native American ancestry. We don't really know much about it, and would love to hear your insights about that. So we'll have to do a part two, so we can get into those, that history, and it's all about reconnecting, back to source, remembering our knowledge, that has come before us. So I'm very excited to do a part two if you'll allow me. um,
I would love to. I want to say to people, get the book off of my website,
yes.
truthaboutmatrix.com or matrixterminator.com, or simply Google me, Sophia Stewart, and my website will come up.
Okay.
And I would love to email me and talk about what's coming for the future with the Matrix 4. Thank
Okay.
you very
Thank
much.
you. I'll post the link down below for everyone as well. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.